Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Hey, hi, good afternoon. So this is the HR Trends workshop, right? 2 hours.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
good afternoon, sir. I am Dr.
Good
Vijay Kumar. Nice
afternoon,
to
sir.
invite you for the program, sir.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Sorry for
Good
the little delay.
afternoon.
Yeah, I
Okay,
was just
welcome, sir.
connecting. Yes, because we used to have our meetings on Zoom. This is Google Meet, so
Google
it
Meet.
got a little
Yes, sir.
delayed.
Okay, nice to
Right,
talk
sir?
to you, sir. Over to you
Sure,
for your
sir.
question, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We'll talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Welcome,
sir.
sir.
So I could see some 13 people joined in, including me. Are we waiting for some more people to join?
Just I inform them to join, sir. They will join. You can start
Sure.
now,
So
sir. No
probably
issues.
another 1 minute. We can wait 1 or 2 minutes and then we can
Yes, sir.
kickstart. Okay,
Definitely,
great.
sir.
I'll
Yes,
be
sir.
switching between my video as well as my presentation. So please pardon that you will not be able to see my face. So I'll be
Definitely.
switching between off and on. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'll switch off my
Great.
microphone also.
Great, sir. And all questions can be parked, and at the end of it, 15, 20 minutes, we can keep it aside for question and answer.
Definitely, sir. Okay,
Great.
thank you very
So
much.
we'll wait for 2 minutes and then we'll kickstart.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sure, sure. Thank you. presentation, the first screen of my presentation. Can you see that first?
Yes, sir. Visible. Visible, sir.
About me, but my name is Porosh Singh, and I have close to 10 years of experience working in corporate HR domain. I did my MBA almost 12 years back from Alliance Business School. Captain Nagraj was one of the professor who was teaching me, and through his mentorship, I have been involved in academic activities as well in my later half of my corporate career. I have worked with a couple of organizations, a little more than a couple of organizations in past 10 years. I was with Sonata Software. I was also working with Mindtree Consulting. I worked with Loaves India, which has their back office in Bangalore. It's a retail chain, retail major in US. I recently I was working with ITC. So this has been my journey, and I've been playing the role of HR business partner in many of my previous roles. I'm not sure if people have heard about HR business partner. It is one of the most sought after role for any HR. I've also played other roles as well, be it HR operations, some part of recruitment, learning and development, a part of compensation management as well, grievance handling, the legal aspects of business. So these are the other challenging roles apart from organization development I have taken in my 10-year, 11-year career journey. I've been associated with a lot of campus to corporate programs since last 5, 6 years now. So half of my corporate journey has been, within touch with industry and academia interface, interacting with students from engineering, management, and various other diverse backgrounds. I've been mentoring students. I've been coaching them. I have been conducting mock GDPI sessions for students. So I've been doing that since last 4, 5 years through independent agencies, through myself as a personal consultant to many engineering colleges and management institutes. So I've been doing that. So this has been my journey and my special attention towards students and how they can improve in terms of getting a better career, getting a better understanding about how the corporate works, and to help them frame their mindset towards what kind of goals they have in their lives and how they can achieve through having a very distinctive career in their life. So that's about me, and a bit short about my corporate journey and the role what I've played and how I got associated with academics. It's been over a year. I have been acting as an adjunct professor with Dayanand Sagar University. I've been teaching executive MBA students, HRM, strategy, and I've been conducting a lot of workshops on various topics, be it HR trends, be it HR analytics, which is again a very diverse and upcoming field. Legal aspects of business as well. I've been having these kind of sessions elsewhere as well. So I've been involved in total with a lot of students and student forums and activities and things like that. I've seen how freshers from college have performed in corporate, and what kind of fill-ups do we need in corporate when student jumps from their academic life to the corporate life. So that kind of a gap which we see as an HR, as a professional, we try to bridge that through these kind of sessions, these kind of workshops, which will benefit you in getting a very fulfilling career and job when your placement comes in, right? So that's the brief backdrop. Any questions, anybody right now? Please let me know. Otherwise, I'll go ahead with the presentation. All right, great. So, right. So what I'll do is I will take you through various trends in HR. So before we start this topic of trends in HR, I would like to probably take you through or make you understand what is human resources, or for that matter, I will try to make you understand how complicated the human behavior is, right? So before we touch base upon the disruptive HR workplace and what new things are happening, how things are emerging, what are the latest trends in the industry, let us understand a little bit more about people, because ultimately it is people whom we will be handling with as an HR professionals in our career. And in your economics classes, right, be it in your 10th standard, 12th standard, or in your PU and in your junior college and other such classes, if you would have some economics lessons for you, you would have understood that there are four factors for any industry to get set up, or for the services sector to get set up, right? And out of those four, your land, capital, machinery, and people. So people, the fourth pillar or the first pillar, whichever we want to call it, is the most important and most critical pillar for any organization, any firm, any industry, any factory, any company, to see success in its journey. People is very important. People behavior is also very important from a perspective of understanding the productivity, the issues concerning people to people, manager to manager, manager to employee, employee to employee, employee to leadership, manager to leadership. So there could be various scenarios in which we have to deal with people, and we have to first assess them, and then we have to have our programs and initiatives created in such a way so that we touch and we improve upon the human behavioral aspect. So human behavior, the most difficult thing to predict, right? And we all humans are very prone to cognitive biases. Individuals, they create their own subjective social reality from the no their thinking, their level of understanding of people, and we have to shed that. We have to first understand people. We have to understand their core behavior. We have to also understand that how no human mind works, in what situations, what kind of reaction a human being will give. Can I ask someone to do a 12-hour shift if you talk in terms of factory timings, or people or workers working in shifts, right? So can I ask them to do some overtime? How much of overtime? What are the legal requirements? How much is allowed? How much is not allowed? What could be done? So all these things we need to consider as a HR professionals. You all will become bright HR professionals in your career. So we need to first understand human behavior, very important. I'm sure you must have touched base upon human psychology, probably in your graduation, or probably in your first few semesters. Some case studies you would have studied, some kind of assignments you would have done, which would have touched based upon human psychology, cognitive reasoning, thinking, organization behavior, right? So I believe few of these terms might be, no, you would have heard these terms earlier. So that's what I am considering. So I want to check what slide can you see? Can anybody tell me what can you see?
Sir, it is only blank slide it is showing, sir.
The first slide? No? Okay.
First slide it was there. Now it is blank.
It was there, now it's not there.
Okay,
It's
hold on.
blank right
Because
now.
I also can't see. Oh, hold on. Just a moment. Just hold on. System is taking a little longer. Hey, hi, hi. Sorry, yeah, I had got logged off.
Yes, sir. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, yeah, I'll just
Welcome,
share my
sir.
screen. Yeah. Yeah, can you see the slide now?
Yes, sir. It is
Okay,
visible.
great, great, great. Yes, yes.
Visible,
So,
sir.
right, I am on my slide number 2 now. You can see HR is about people and people lead to business. Can you all read that?
Yes, visible.
Okay, great, great. Yes. So this is where I left, and we were talking about that how human beings are important and how human beings run the business, right? So this is what we were discussing, and I talked about how human psychology is important and how we, as an HR professionals, be proficient in understanding the human mind, and then we can look at what kind of interventions, HR interventions, can be planned and executed when any such issues related to people comes in, and we have to exercise our decision making capabilities, right? So one more clarification before I go on to tell you about 6 HR trends which I feel I have identified will be the trends in future, and we all as HR professionals, budding professionals, should be aware of. So is this class till 3 o'clock, or is it beyond that as well? Is it a session between 2 and 3? Is it an 1 hour session?
It is
No,
2 to
you
5.
It's a
Okay, 2
2 to
hours.
5 session. Yes,
2 to
sir.
5. Great, great, great. Because when I
2 to
was
4,
looking at
sorry. It's 2 to 4.
2 to 4, 2 hours, right?
Yes, sir.
Great, great.
Yes,
Because
sir.
when I was looking at the invite, I somewhere saw it's 2 to 3. Okay, all right, great.
Okay.
Okay, so we will look at the various trends. I have identified 6 trends considering my secondary research on internet and also the primary surveys and research which we keep on doing as HR professionals. And these are these 6 trends. Would any one of you like to probably say what could be the trends, one or two, whatever comes to your mind? What would be the trends in HR? Anyone in the class? Any student? Anyone? Just some guesses. Let's make it a little more interactive rather than being just a monologue from my end. No? Okay. All right. Can you see the next slide now?
HR innovation.
Okay, great. HR innovation, yes. Great. So can you see the next slide? HR trends. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Can you see 6 HR trends in a circle fashion?
Yes, sir.
Great, right. So we are on the right slide. These are the 6 HR trends which I'll be talking about in next 1.5 hours now. And last 10-15 minutes, we'll keep it for question answers. So these 6 things, number one, personalization, right? Which we also interpret in HR terminology as individualization, right? So that will be the trend for 2020, 21, 22, and beyond. Second, workplace trust, right? So I'll talk about how robotics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, big data, data mining, right? We can also talk about deepfake. Have anybody heard about deepfake? Anybody? What is deepfake? If anybody can tell me quickly. Students, what is deepfake? Okay, so I believe none of you have heard about it. This is the recent trends, right? There are a lot of apps which are available wherein you can mimic someone. You can sing like Rihanna, or you can sing like maybe Michael Jackson or somebody else. You are faking that person, isn't it? Have you seen these apps? Anybody?
No, sir.
No? Okay. All right. So these are latest apps wherein you change your face, look like Michael Jackson, or you change your face. If it's a female, you change your face and it looks like Britney Spears, and then you find yourself singing on a stage. Have anybody experienced this kind of apps?
Like morphing, face morphing.
Yes, like morphing. So, like those share it
Face app.
and face apps, a lot of them are there, right? A lot of Chinese apps which our government has banned them as well. But a lot of these apps wherein you just have 10 seconds, 20 seconds song, and your face will come and your face will get morphed into that personality, and it'll seem like that you are singing, or the tune will be the same, but then your voice will get kind of mechanized, and it'll sound like the singer. It sound like a mix between your voice and the singer's voice, and you'll be singing for that 10 seconds, 30 seconds, and then you make that and you upload it on a WhatsApp statuses and things like that, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So great. So how many of you experienced that or done that kind of a thing? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many of you? Somebody said yes. Can you tell me which app you were using it?
Not an app, sir. It was just a filter.
Oh, just a filter. Yeah. So see, these filters are again, these are like small mini apps,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Earlier it used to be a time of websites, 1990s, 2000s, huge, heavy, bulky websites. It used to take a lot of time to load. Then, Chrome came in. It was Internet Explorer earlier. It used to take a lot of time to load and upload and to open. Then Internet Explorer came in, right? And then a lot of browsers came in which were compatible on cell phones, because cell phone, the memory size, the chip size, and everything is small. So similarly, apps came in later on. Apps were more concise, kind of no coding done with new technology platforms and languages, no, which were very nimble, very agile, very compact, and they do the entire function what a website can do. And now, as one of you said, right, so it is more of small no, share it, and those kind of small applets, you can call it, or small things which you can use it. You can use those filters, you can use those small mimicry kind of things. You transform a face into a cat's face or a cat's voice, or you can have some horns coming out, right? So those are a small version of those apps, and that is called deep fake, right? You're faking, and it's deep. When you say deep, it's working on multitude of data, right? So do you imagine that how it's able to mimic that particular singer having your face put up in that video? So there's a lot of data, a lot of no data in the data farms which is available, and these technologies have enabled us to mimic a singer, and we can sing in their voice. We can have their face in a voice, or we can have the background and we can only change the face, or somewhere we can have a 50% of a face transformed into that singer's face or that actor's face, or whoever is our no dream personality or dream person. We try to mimic that person. So all that is called deep fake, right? So these things, what these things are doing, these things are disrupting the workplace in such a way so that the workplace trust is getting hampered. So you never know tomorrow. Now you must have heard about telepresence, teleportation, right? So I could see few of my professors in DSU, they are teleporting themselves. They must be sitting in their kitchen and probably having, or in the dining room and probably having sipping a cup of coffee, but they are teleporting themselves into the next room, which is their office room, right? And when they are on the call, they would be shown as sitting in on their desk, but it's fake. It's not true. Can you imagine how much technology has impacted us? This I'm talking about our professors, my colleagues in DSU. They're teleporting themselves. They're using apps which help them sit somewhere, do something. But when it comes to this camera, right? When it comes to a video call, it will show that they are sitting on their the computer table. Laptop is in front of them. But actually they must be in the garden, they must be playing with a dog, they must be having their Bluetooth earphone on, and they're attending the call. So that's deep fake. Please do these researches. Please keep yourself updated about what is happening in the technology world, in the HR field or elsewhere, right? So these things are hampering the workplace trust. Similarly, class is going on, video is off for everybody. The professor, the teacher doesn't know where the student is, whether the student is sleeping, whether the student is eating something, or whether the student is taking notes or not. So these are the real-time challenges which we as a professor face, and which the industry is facing altogether with the changing circumstances. So that is workplace trust. I'll go a little more in detail when I'll come to these individual slides. New age learning. So learning, right, is very important. You as a student, you are learning something with your MBA course. You're adding your skills, you're upskilling yourself, you're cross-skilling yourself. But how are you doing it? What kind of audience are we targeting? Have you ever given a thought about it? Have you ever thought about that all these online platforms like Byju's and Simply Learn and XYZ and ABCs, so how are they capturing?
Topper.
Yes, so how are they capturing the marketplace? How are they initiating the new learning? So what is that? How it will impact the workplace? How are employee learning, employee training, inductions, how they will be impacted, right? The tech trainings in the organization, the behavioral trainings, the functional trainings, the various other trainings, how will they be impacted with this new age learning? So we will discuss in detail about new age learning as well. And I want you to interact. I want you to give me ideas. Tell me that what is happening in HR trends, and let us make it as a two-way communication in this 1.5 hours now, maybe a little lesser now, right? So let there be learning for you. Let it not be a monologue, because I believe it should be an interaction. Similarly, analytics, HR analytics. I last week only I did a workshop, 3 hours, in fact, a 4 hours workshop from HR analytics trend and 4 hours of general analytics. So a total 8 hours of workshop I did along with a dear colleague of mine for DSU. There'll be one of a batch. I'm not sure. Any one of you part of the HR analytics workshop last week? Were any one of you part of HR analytics workshop? Students, I'm asking a question. Were any one of you was part of HR analytics workshop last
Yeah,
week?
sir.
Okay, great, great. I want to hear that, yeah, more often. So yes, so HR analytics, 8 hours workshop we did. Please talk to those of your fellow mates who have attended that workshop, whether it was beneficial, not beneficial, what is happening in analytics, how and what by what pace things are changing, how data will define everything, how machine learning, how machines will help solve a lot of our issues and problems. So that is the trend. And in fact, I have been speaking to DSU management, and probably for all these HR trends and others as well. We want to have workshops conducted for you, and all those who are interested can voluntarily join these workshops and learn out of it. Similarly, innovation. One amongst you said innovation, right? At the start of when I asked this question. So innovation, equally important, right? Disruption, disruptive innovation, that is the trend word nowadays. Disruptive innovation, or you could combine and call it as disruption. Disruption is the new norm. Business ways of doing business are changing drastically. We need to be updated ourselves every second of our day. Something is getting changed, somebody is experimenting something, and it clicks. If it clicks, it becomes a success, right? So as I've been telling in my HR analytics workshop as well, we as HR professionals, we need to know business as good as a business manager knows the business, right? Please mark my words. You as an HR can only be successful until unless you know what is happening in business. Until unless you can replace that business manager, the business head, the CEO. Until unless you have that capability of replacing the CEO and have all the knowledge what a CEO or a delivery head or a business head or a program manager or a manager of your project has, you will not survive in today's corporate world. You need to know everything. And that's why the trend is moving towards being advisors. HR is seen as advisors. HR is seen as consultant. So you are no more an HR operations guy. It's no more that business will say, hey, please give me those 2 reports. Tell me the attrition number. No, those days are gone. Business will not come and ask you. Of course, they come and they'll ask you, give me the data. But then you have to give them more than that. You just need not to tell them that we hired 40 people this month and around 12 people left from the company this month. That's not intelligent information. You have to act as advisor to your business. You have to act as consultant to your business. You have to consult them. You have to tell them that, boss, this is what is happening. 40 people have joined. Out of 40 people, I have done my analysis through my HR analytics. And I have found out that out of 40 people, this is the age bracket they are falling into. This is the years of experience they are falling into. This is the skill set they bring in. This is the primary skill. This is secondary skill. This is a tertiary skill. On the skills I have analyzed them. They stand at 3 out of 1 to 5. Somebody stands at 2.5. So you as an HR, you need to have all data on your fingertips for your entire population, entire people population that you have or you are responsible for. So that is the trend what is happening, right? So these are the 6 overall buckets which I have created for you to make you understand the HR trends, right? Things are happening much beyond this as well. So when I bring about these 6 trends, it doesn't mean that other things are not happening. There's so many other things which I would have deliberately not put on this slide, right? So it again talks about each individual's perspective. So the industry which I come from, the core experience what I have, for me, I feel that this is the trend, or this is how the trend would be, and that's how majority of Indian companies and industry feels that way. There could be so many other things. For example, innovation, technology, right? I'm not sure if you've heard about the term gamification. Anybody? What is gamification? What do you understand by gamification? Please tell me. Any student? Don't bother if you're wrong or if you say incorrect definition. That's perfectly all right. But your ability to speak up, to come to the stage, to talk is more important than what you talk or what you deliver, right? Unless you have that ability to come on the stage and talk, even if you blabber anything, that matters a lot. What you blabber comes at the second stage. So tell me, what is gamification? New term for you? Nobody heard about it earlier? New term? Students, is it a new term for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, no issues. So gamification it will transform probably many industries, and it will transform many functions, not only HR, other functions as well. It will transform big time. It's coming and it's happening. Companies like Northscape.
Excuse me, sir.
Sorry?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, I think 2 more students are waiting from past 15 minutes for you to allow.
Okay,
me.
do I need to get them in? Do I need to do something?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, right. I saw somebody has, Asfia has put something on chat, all right. Hold on. Okay, I think if I'm the host, then I can do it definitely. But as this app is little new to me, I'm just trying to identify from where can I get them in. Probably if Dr. Vijay can help and let them in, or let me check what is the way out. No, I can only see 15 people, including me, and I'll see myself twice because I think I've logged in twice. So there are only 14 people, including me. Who are these other 2 people? Can you ask your moderator or your technical guy to let them in?
Yeah, sir. I'll just ask them to ping them.
Yeah, because I'm not able to find a way to let them in the virtual classroom. So please, outside of this Google Meet class over the WhatsApp or something, please coordinate with your technical person and have these people join the class. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
great. Okay, all right. So, right. Can you see the same slide, HR trend slide now?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, great. So we talked about these 6 terms. We were talking about gamification, and gamification is the latest trends. And I believe all of you must be in your early 20s and late teens, and at that age bracket. So you are Generation Y or probably Generation Z as well. So Generation Y and Z, you people must be knowing about gamification, because it's all about your mobile games and things like that, which most of your time goes into, isn't it? Mobile games? Anybody who plays mobile game, PUBG, and what are the names I'm not so familiar with? No, none of you play mobile games? You don't play mobile games? None of you? 14, 13 of you? None of you play mobile games? Yes or no?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, you don't play mobile games. Okay. Do you keep smartphones? All of you? Smartphones?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. All
Yes.
right. Okay. So there are a lot of mobile games, right? From your Ludo King to what all, and PUBGs and Star Wars and some war games and racing games and what all and what not. So that is the way how HR is changing, because when we go to colleges and when we hire students who are in their late teens or early 20s, who are 18 years, 19 years, 20 years, 21 years, 24 years. So these are the people who are like now not even Generation Y, they're Generation Z now, right? And these people are probably 18 hours of their waking time into mobile. They are either reading something, they are either purchasing something, they're shopping, they're checking out something, they're hitting the like button or the dislike button, they're commenting on something, they're watching a video and commenting, they are making something viral, right? So that's what is the mindset of today's youth. And when we as an HR, we found that uh, the new joinees who join us, the engineering freshers, graduates, the MBA graduates, they spend a lot of their time on the phone, right? We do give them a desktop, we do give them a laptop, a seat to sit, a table and a chair, a good cozy working environment. But despite having all of that, um, they are so smart, they do their work. It's not that they're not doing their work. Whatever task has been assigned to them, whatever assignments have been given to them, or whatever coding or whatever activity they're doing, they do it perfectly, they do it very well. But they're so quick, so smart. In the 8 hours of work, they are able to do it in 6 hours, and or maybe 5 hours or 6 hours, and the rest 3 4 hours goes into looking at their mobiles. Either they are checking their WhatsApp, or they are Facebooking, or they are Googling something, or they are ordering something, or they're looking for something. Somebody's trading in share market, somebody's doing something, somebody's doing something. So we as an HR, when we find out that how many people, how many hours they are taking, and what is their free time, and we also found out that these people are spending a lot of time on their mobiles. So why not to tap them there? Why not to have some kind of learning apps, from the organization's end, which will help them in upskilling? So instead of they wasting their time in PUBG and other things, other games, or wasting their time in watching videos or commenting or Facebooking and things like that, why can't we have an app which would help them do an advanced course in Java, or do an advanced course in .NET, or do something about Python, or learn a new skill or a new language or a new technology? Somebody who's a salesperson, why can't he do something on sales, workforce or Salesforce and things like that? So we as an HR, we also keep on thinking, and that's what I meant when I said new age learning. So there are a lot of apps which has come up, which we give it to our employees, and those are bite-sized learning modules, right? 10 minutes, 5 minutes, because attention span is reduced. Nowadays, the generation Y and the generation C, they can't concentrate for more than 20-30 minutes on something, even lesser. So we have to give them very small size learning options. So that is all new age learning. Similarly, gamification. So now when somebody joins the organization, what happens? Can anybody tell me? Anybody has experience working in corporate, or all of you are freshers? Are all of you freshers, or do you have 1 year, 1.5 year, 2 year experience? Just say it loud, please.
Freshers, sir.
Freshers, all of you?
all
All are freshers. Okay, so you have no idea. Right. So it becomes a little more difficult for me to make you understand how it happens in the corporate. But nevertheless, not an issue. Not difficult, but it'll take a little more time to make you understand how it happens in the corporate. So when somebody joins, fresher from the campus, these people go through the day one. Day one is your induction. Right? When somebody joins, they undergo the induction process. And with induction, these people learn about the organization. So history of the organization is taught to them through various presentations, workshops, games. Senior people, CEOs, and other old people in the company, they'll come and they'll talk about the company. So that's called induction. Usually it is 1 day, 2 day, half a day. At some places it is 1 week also. Right? I'm sure when you started your MBA, you would have had an induction or orientation. That's what you call it, right? Orientation, right? Yes. Yes. Orientation, induction, one of the same things. So we also have orientation for new freshers. We call it sometimes orientation. We sometimes call it induction. Joining formalities is also a term which is used. So in various companies, there are various ways how they look at it. 6 hours sessions, or 1 day induction, or 2 day induction, 1 week induction. So it depends, really depends. So in one of my previous company, we used to have a whole 1 day induction. What used to happen there? The new joinees, it was day one for them. They used to come with all their documents and whatever the HR has told them. They will arrive on time, or they will arrive before time. There would be few who will arrive after time also, right? So all kinds of people exist in this world. So if the time is that everybody has to report by 8:30 in the morning, definitely there will be 5-6 people, few 2-3% people who will have some reason that they are late. They'll not be able to reach the office, day one of the office, by 8:30. They will reach by 9. Somebody reach by 9:30, 9:15, 9:20. So that shows that how disciplined the person is. That shows that how well managed the person is. That shows that where the people or the employees priorities lie. That shows that to what the person gives more importance. The first job, first day at office, first job fresh out of college, you should be enthusiastic about it. You should reach there well in time. If 8:30 is the joining time, you should reach there by 8. Right? So all those things. And so what used to happen was, once people settle down, they have given 8:30, there's some buffer time which HR keeps for themselves. And once they have the buffer time, they start with their process. Usual greetings and welcoming them. And then in this particular organization where I was working, what we used to do was, we used to start with a little welcome note, a small video from the CEO, a 2-minute, 3-minute, or 5-minute video, which will talk about the vision of the company, which will talk about what the CEO wants from these freshers. So a small talk, a prep talk. And once that gets done, maybe somebody within the HR team, induction team, they will have some 5, 6, 10 slides presentation about the company, little brief about the company and the various benefits they will get while working here, the career growth, the leave policy, and small things. So half an hour, 40-minute session they will take, and then they will have the joining formalities. right? So day one, you have to do a lot of joining formalities. You have to fill your joining form. You have to fill, you will be getting your offer letters or your joining letters. It will be a 7, 8, 10-page document. So joining letter is nothing, but it's your agreement between you and the company, right? Your terms and conditions of work, your place of posting will be mentioned there, date of joining will be mentioned there, at what grade you have joined will be mentioned there, your salary CTC will be mentioned there, your salary breakup will be mentioned there, right? So, and terms and conditions, uh, intellectual property right rules and regulations will be mentioned there, your timings, your ethics, your discipline, your rules and regulations, rules, do's and don'ts about the company, where, what time to go, what time to come, what are your office timings, what is the dress code, what is the leave policy, how many leaves can you take, what are the advance policy, and all those things in brief it will be mentioned in that joining letter, right? It will be a 8, 10, 12 pages document, bulky document. Then you're supposed to read the entire document. You have to sign on both the sides of the page, and there'll be two copies. One copy you will sign and hand it back to HR. One copy will be for your copy. You'll sign or you don't sign. You'll keep it in your bag, which you'll take back. That is a joining letter, day one, right? So that will happen, and then there'll be a lot of forms. There could be some non-disclosure agreements which you need to sign, which will be very client specific. Suppose you have joined for a particular client, for example, you're joining ITC and you're joining for a client called PepsiCo. PepsiCo is a very huge company. You're joining as an engineer for PepsiCo, as a Java developer, but you're joining ITC. So ITC is a big project of PepsiCo. There are some 4,400 people who will be working for PepsiCo, and you'll be joining that team. So in such a scenario, you would be have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, because PepsiCo might have some non-disclosure agreements which the each and every person who is taken in the team has to sign, right? So those forms you have to fill. Then can anybody tell me which are the other forms which one needs to fill at the time of joining? Anyone? I have done a lot of talking. I want you to do some talking. Please, somebody, please volunteer and tell me from a legal perspective what all forms a new joinee has to fill on the day one of joining the corporate company. Think about it. Take a minute to think. You can Google also. I'm not watching that you are Googling. You can Google as well, but I want someone of you to probably raise your voice after a minute and talk about it for a minute about various joining forms which a new joinee has to find. Please Google. One of you volunteer after a minute. I'm keeping shut for a minute now.
Sir,
Yes, please. Who is ready now?
sir, the employee has to submit his previous employment documents.
Great. In case the person has, if the person is fresher like you, then what? Then what will happen, Kajal? Tell me.
So then, just the formalities, whatever the companies will give, that only we have to fill, sir.
Okay, so what
Like
usually does the company give?
Educational document.
Yes,
offer
you have to
letter.
submit. Yes, you have to submit all your 10th marks card, 12th marks card. You have to submit a PAN card, your Aadhaar card, right? Uh,
Yes, sir.
I mean, a copy of
A
them, not the
medical
original.
information form.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
if any medical test
Medical
needs to be
fitness
done before
certificate.
joining, yes, you have to submit your medical test as well in case that company has that policy,
Single
right?
point of contact, sir.
Yes, your single point of contact, your emergency contact number, your blood group,
Yeah.
right? So when I say a PAN and Aadhaar and passport, a copy of them, right? And of course, you will be carrying your original for day one, and they will verify it from your original, and they'll certify it, and they will keep the photocopies in the records.
And even a referral form if there is any
Yes,
referral
if
from
somebody
any
has
company.
referred you, then a referral form. What else? What else?
So, the company people has to maintain the joining kit, sir.
Yes. So they will be keeping the joining kit. Joining kit, what all is there? The joining kit, as I said, will have your joining letter, number one,
Information. Yeah.
right? It will have a
Yes, sir.
handout which will talk
Home
about
to.
no whom to contact in your first 1 week, first 1 week, 2 weeks. So it'll have a quick handout for admin related issues. Please reach out to so and so person. To open your PF account, please reach out to so and so person. To for security help desk is this. Doctors for emergency doctor clinic number is this, right? So there'll be a quick handout for all of you that will be part of the kit. Then a PF account will get created for you, right? Provident fund. Have you studied in your semester 1, 2 the legal aspects of business, something on those lines?
So CDF 11 form.
Yes, right. So your provident fund form, right? So those are 2, 3 pages in that. Your gratuity
Yes,
form.
form 2.
Yes,
Yeah.
your gratuity form you need to
Form
fill.
11 and 13.
Correct. And any insurance, because day one you'll be insured by the company. So insurance related documentation.
For gratuity, they have to fill the form F.
Yes. So all those forms. Then your insurance related forms, your health insurance, your life insurance, then your group
Mediclaim.
mediclaim, group personal accident insurance, right? So all those forms, all those formalities, so they are like good bulky document which is a joining kit, and you'll be filling all those forms. So then, as I was telling you the entire sequence, so once those initial slides and presentation about the company history and other things, after the video of the CEO, the joining kit is given, and each individual has to fill those forms, sign those joining kit. So all that happens. So once that is done, then then probably it's lunchtime, and they will give you a coupon for lunch, and it will be a free lunch on day one in case the company has a paid cafeteria. If you happen to join a big shot organization like Google or Facebook or Microsoft or Adobe, right, or Loaves, for that matter, there the cafeteria is all on the, what do you say, on the house. So it's the company
So
who,
CAF facility.
yes, caf facility form and other things. So so they'll be giving you a lunch coupon or something for day one, and you can redeem that coupon and you can have your lunch in the cafeteria. Once you're done with the lunch, you again come back to the same induction room, and further sessions will go on and they will happen, right? So for the session, somebody will take you through the facilities, the various buildings, the various floors, what is where. There'll be a security session. Somebody will come from the security team and talk about which are the fire exits, which are the safe places for assembly, which are the places where you can smoke or where you can't smoke, right? Which are the pathways, where you can walk, which way you can go, where your car can be parked, right? Where your car can't go, at what speed you have to drive your car within the campus. Sorry. So there are a lot of things, a lot of sessions which will happen. Somebody will come and talk about, will talk about operations. Yes, ID card, access card, very good, very good. So all those things you'll be getting. So if there is a process of getting a new ID card, so there will be a photographer. You'll be taken to a dark room or a photograph room, and then you'll get clicked for your ID card. Access cards will be given to you. If there is a meal card will be given to you, right? And not now, but earlier, people used to get joining bonus as well, right? Sorry. So joining bonus, so you'll be filling the joining bonus form as well, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, whatever you've agreed and discussed. Not usually for freshers, but people who have experience, companies usually give joining bonus. If somebody is relocating from Hyderabad to Bangalore or Pune to Bangalore or Delhi to Bangalore, and if the joining isn't happening in Bangalore, then relocation bonus, relocation amount is given out. Okay, so all those formalities happens in day one. So that is day one. Why I'm telling you all of that? First of all, because you're freshers, you don't know. You should know as an HR professional, and you should have known in one of your MBA class. I mean, this is not something which I should be talking about. I mean, if at all I should be talking about, it has to be a separate session to take you through the bridge course of academic to corporate, right? Campus to corporate. I do such courses as well. So where I take all students in detail, what happens in day one of corporate, how is corporate different from academics, what is expected, what you should expect, what are the do's and don'ts, what kind of work life will be there, what kind of benefits you should look for, which companies you should hit and fight for, which companies you should call for placements, which companies you should request your management to ask and come for placements, what kind of job profile you should look for, what kind of CTC you should fight for, right? I also have slides on, because it's a big dilemma, company name, brand name versus location versus job profile versus job timings versus regular shift, night shift versus the job role versus the team which you'll be joining, the manager and other things. So that's a dilemma which will be there in your minds in your third semesters when you are about to sit for a placement. So you'll be all confused which company to join, whether I should focus more on brand, or whether I should go for a lesser known brand but a good profile, or whether CTC is my only criteria. I should go for the highest CTC company which is offering me. Suppose I have 3 offers, I'll take the best CTC offer company to join them. So there are a lot of dilemmas which will be there, and I take a separate session for that, and I clear all those doubts, which I will give you a little brief hint about. So once you have all those things in place, and you get to know that what is the sequence which happens in the day one induction, how it happens, what all thing happens. So then I told you just to make you understand how induction happens. So what happens is, when we as an HR, when we look at the entire induction process, and when we see that the generation Y and the generation Z who is coming in, and they're looking at the induction, and sometimes they sleep in those sessions because those sessions are very boring. Some old person will come and show some PPT, 10 slides, 20 slides, and the person will start talking, reading from the PPT, right? Isn't that boring? Right? Have you anybody experienced that? Your old professor comes to your class, or your old lecturer comes to your class, maybe in MBA or in a graduation, and will start reading from the book or reading from the slides, right? So you all feel bored and you don't want to really attend those classes, isn't it? Anybody? Have you experienced that?
Yes,
Yes, Swati.
yes, sir. It will be boring.
Correct, yeah, it becomes boring and dull, and same PPT, some old person will come, he'll give some gyan, and you're really not interested and bothered to know that. So same thing we as an HR, we kind of analyzed. So again, from HR analytics, we gathered the data, we tried to find out, we took feedback, we had some feedback forms filled after the induction is done, and we found out that how people are interested or not interested, and what they're rating, what they want from the induction. Do they really want those? Half a day goes into signing those joining letters and forms. Can we do something about it? So we did a lot of experimentation. So for example, we made things online. So PF form, gratuity form, we used to send them online, ask the people to download, take a printout, sign it, scan it, and then send it to us. But then it was in 2016 and 17, 2016 and 17 we were doing all of this. But then that again was a very hectic thing. Suppose I am hiring you from XYZ company, I am the HR manager, and I gave you those forms, and I ask you to download them first, and then take a print of them, then fill those by a pen, sign them by your pen, by your hand, then again go back to the photocopier shop, Xerox shop, you scan them, and then you upload them, and then you send it back to HR to send it back to me, who is an HR. So it's a long, tedious process. Now it's no more emails. It's all about WhatsApp and no quick communication. So now what we have been doing, what my company, one of my previous company, how they were doing was, they were quickly sending Word docs or PDFs or the PF forms and gratuity forms. And people used to, nowadays everybody is tech savvy. So they will edit it there only. They'll edit by typing, and they will do digital signatures, and quickly they'll send it. And we as a corporate, we have also evolved. We don't create a fuss that you have not signed and all of that. So we take that as a record. And once you come for the joining, you just need to sign it. You already know what you have filled, right? So things become easier. So that half a day which goes into signing those papers, that can be reduced. So that boredom can be reduced. So those are various actions which we have taken as an HR. Those changes which we have tried to impart and imply, that had really given us very positive results. People were really happy after their one-day induction. Earlier, it used to be all boring, and the rating and the feedback for the induction team used to be very low. 2.3, 2.1, 2.2 on a scale of 1 to 5, where 5 being the highest. So those changes were made. But then, see, the whole idea of giving this monologue for last 15 minutes is to bring it to gamification, right? So that was the main idea. Now, again, everything was so boring. So I and my team, one of my people who was reporting into me, so both of us, we designed this gamification thing. So we said, nowadays, it's all Generation X and Y, youngsters in smartphones, mobiles, always into their mobile, doing something or the other. So what I did was, we created a game for induction, a mobile game, right? Like those Bitcoin games. Like there was some game which was happening wherein something will be hidden somewhere, right? And you will go and you will find something, you'll get a gold coin virtually, and then somebody will hide somewhere, some tree or somewhere. Can you recall any such game? It was a very popular game 2 years back or 1 year back or whatever. There was government ban as well. Can you recall anybody? Anybody? Can you recall such a game?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember the name now. Probably you are youngsters, you are from that age bracket. So you must be remembering the name of that game. I'm not able to recall, but if I put a little more thought to it, I can recall that game. So there was some game wherein you were getting some brownie points or something, and the people were mad, 10th standard, 12th standard kids, they were mad about it. They will just roam around the streets and they will, yeah, Kirtana has something to say.
I mean, longer back it was there, sir.
Yeah,
Now
4-5
I
years
don't
back,
remember.
something. What was the name
Yes,
of that
sir.
game?
I don't remember, sir, but they used to tell us to find the crown in
Yeah,
the
all
tree
that
where
stupid
the
things, no?
X
Yeah,
and
I
dot.
remember. I remember all
Yes,
those
sir.
kiddo things kids they used to do, 10th
Yes,
standard, 12th
yes, sir.
standard, they used to run around, and there were a lot of them who met accidents, right? And then government has to ban that game. So that is all gamification. So we made a similar game, of course, considering the safety and security aspects. My previous company, the campus was a huge 40-50 acre campus, beautiful campus. Has anybody been to ITC campus in Bangalore? Are all of you from Bangalore? All of you from Bangalore?
No.
Yes, sir.
Okay, few of you. Okay. All right. So Bangalore has ITC. ITC, it used to be ITC factory. It is near Coxtown, near Alsur, Coxtown, Halasuru, as what you call it. Then Coxtown and Coketown, and near the Cantonment railway station is an ITC. It used to be ITC factory, a good 40-50 acre landed area. And ITC factory got closed because it came within the city premises, and pollution and other things were an issue. So they converted their godowns and factory into ITC as a company. So they brought their offices here. So it's a full-fledged company. You could see 2 towers. Anybody has seen those 2 towers? ITC towers in Coxtown? Anybody? Anybody stays close to Coxtown or that area? Banaswadi,
very
Banaswadi, Coxtown, Coketown, Bangalore Cantonment, Fraser Town, Austin Town. Anybody? No one? Okay. Okay, so yes, so as I was saying, so they had a very beautiful campus, huge 180 years old trees, 250 years old trees, banyan trees, mango trees, a huge old British type campus, a small old houses. It was on a rocky, it is still in a rocky terrain. So some roads are going up like a hill station. No, it was a mini hill station, a lot of big trees. Its temperature used to be few degrees lesser than Bangalore's temperature. It used to be cold and shivering. Huge trees, huge British type bungalow buildings wherein we used to have those, our offices remodeled and recreated. So we tried to make a gamification program, just like those Bitcoin or those people were searching. So we made a similar thing, wherein we tried to tell them about the premises, about the company through that game. That was all about gamification. So for example, if you want to tell them where's the reception, right? So that becomes a challenge in that app. And all those who have joined in a particular time, so they have to find where the reception is. So they will be hunting. So it's more like a, what do you say, that hunting game, no? What is the name of that game? You do that hunting, no? Some goodies will be kept, and you play in your colleges and your farewells and things like that. What is the name of that game? Anybody has played that game? Kajal, I'm sure you must have played that game.
PUBG, sir.
Treasure Hunt? Have you heard about Treasure Hunt?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Asfi has mentioned Treasure Hunt. Yes. So, so we made a kind of a treasure hunt for them, wherein they have to find out where the fire routes are. No. So instead of having a PPT, which will tell that there are 5 exit gates, there's one no fire thing kept there. So we made it as a game through a mobile app, like a treasure hunt. So people will go around. People will know where the CEO sits. The new joinees, they will know where the cafeteria is. How many bathrooms are there? Yeah. So Vinuta has mentioned they've played this in their college, right? So we made a treasure hunt on a mobile, and it was an app, and it was a gamification. So that is the kind of different thing which we try to bring in. So that is all innovation, right? So those are the trends. Now you as a professionals of HR, future professionals of HR, you should be thinking on those terms, how you can further gamify HR processes. Can you gamify appraisal, performance appraisal? Can you gamify that? Can you gamify the exit process? When somebody leaves the organization, can you make it more cheerful? Can you make it more lively, more happy for the exiting employee? So you have to keep your thinking hats on. You have to keep on thinking that what is happening, what is latest happening, what your competitors are doing, what are the various companies doing, how are they changing, how are they making people engage, through these small tweaking and bringing in technology, bringing in disruption, bringing it interruption, and how are changing the entire landscape, right? Similarly, now probably we have half an hour left, right? Half an hour more.
Yes, sir.
Right, great. Yeah, employee
Yes,
engagement
sir.
activities, of course. Employee engagement activities. So how can you gamify the employee engagement activities? How can you use an app? How can you ask suppose you join TCS. TCS is a huge number of engineers, right? So can you approach a team which is dedicated to providing technical support to HR team? Can you ask them to make a small game through an app, a game app, which will involve employee engagement activities, right? So think about in those terms, take it as an assignment, and then try to see that how you can have a techie code for you in such a way so that your performance appraisal is gamified. The manager does the appraisal in a gamification way. It becomes very happy experience for everybody. Similarly, trainings. Can you gamify the trainings? Behavioral trainings, soft skill trainings, right? Email etiquettes, video call etiquettes. Somebody who is in marketing and sales, they need to have visitor etiquettes, right? Interacting with foreign nationals, etiquettes of those countries. They need to be very dexterous in all these things. Dining etiquettes, right? So can we use an app to educate our people, to skill them, to train them about dining table etiquettes, right? So these are the new things which you as a future professionals, you have to think about, and you have to employ the technology and see that how we can bring in technology into the HR processes, HR subsections or HR departments and things like that. So how many functions there in HR? Anybody who can tell me? I think in my HR analytics class I have also talked about. How many HR functions are there? Or how can you divide HR? I mean, what are the various activities in HR? What according to you are the various activities in HR?
So recruitment,
Great.
onboarding, offboarding,
All right, that's also great. What else?
payroll,
Payroll, yes. That's compensation.
mediclaim,
Insurance related issues, yes.
mediclaim, insurance. So
What
attendance
else?
and leave management,
Yes, that's great.
full and final
Anything
settlement,
else? Which one?
full and final settlement,
Okay, okay, that's also fine. Yes, what else?
training and development,
Okay. Anything else you are missing out?
induction and orientation.
Good. Now,
Statutory
good.
competences,
Which one? Sorry, say again, Kajal. Say again, what did you say last?
statutory competencies, like EPF,
Compensation, right?
ESI.
Yes, yes, great.
Yeah.
So can we, yeah, somebody has sent a text as well. So I am not following the text much. So Asfia has said it's already there in YouTube, sir. Why do we need to make an app for that? So what is there on YouTube? Can you tell me? Asfia, can you tell me what is there in YouTube? Which app is there in YouTube? Which app is there in YouTube? Okay, we'll take that offline. Okay. So, right. So what I'm talking about is an app which will be very specific to your organization. It can't be a generalized YouTube video which you will show it to them, right? And that's why the first HR trend, what was the first HR trend which I talked about? Can anybody say what is the first HR trend? The first HR trend, what is it? In my slide, look at my slide and tell me. Yes, Kajal, please tell. Sneha, yeah.
Personalization.
Personalization, right? So it can't be a generic YouTube video or an app which you can use. It has to be very specific to your company. For ITC, because it has a 40-acre campus, we were able to make an app for induction, which was more like that treasure hunt, wherein we made the new joinees run around and learn the campus, know about the facilities, know about who is where, what is what, right? And then we had hidden few activities. For example, if we want to tell them about leave policy in induction, so we have hidden a document in pen and paper somewhere, and that will be a task. So whoever finds it first, then everybody else, he'll get a silver coin or a gold coin or whatever. And then all those, suppose there are 20 people who have joined. Out of 21% has found that leave policy docket first. So once the person has found the docket, that person will then read the policy. It will be a very small, some pointers will be there, 6-7 pointers. That person will first read that pointers for leave policy, understand it, and then he will be explaining it to the remaining 19 people who have joined that day, right? So it has to be very specific, very personalized, very individualized for the organization, for the people. So it can't be a generic YouTube video, or an app. So it has to be a very specific app, right? So I won't be disclosing because it was not developed by us independently. It was a third party. You would have heard of names of Nolscape and so many other firms who are helping organizations develop gamification for them, specific to their context. So we also had a third party who made this app for us, who already had an app, and he tweaked it basis our requirements, and then we were able to run it for our new joiners. Okay, so that's gamification, that's innovation, that's disruption, interruption, that's personalization. So all these things is a part of the HR trends, and I'm giving you live examples how we have done in corporate, what is happening, how things are changing, how is the landscape changing, right? So now I'll move on to the next slide. Any questions till now, anybody?
No, sir.
Okay, great. So which is the slide you're seeing right now?
HR
HR trends. So we have talked about, so I've given you a brief about personalization, workplace trust, new age learning, analytics, innovation advisor. I've talked in detail about it. Let me go through each of these slides. I've already spoken about these things. If there's anything which is missed, I'll quickly cover. Otherwise, we'll run through the remaining slides. So personalization. Can you see this slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So as I said, it was all about standardization earlier. It's all about individualization now, right? I gave you a lot of examples. So an app or a program just for you, right? So for induction also, can I do this app induction with somebody who is joining as a senior manager for ITC? Can I do that? No, right? Because that person might not be using a smartphone. He's already in his 50s. He's joined as a delivery manager, senior person. So no standardization. You have to, so no generalization. You have to do individualization, personalization. Okay. So this particular app and induction program was only for campus freshers, right? It was not for all. Right. Similarly, very good example I have for office design. So your freshers you would have not seen, but if you go to office of any of the blue chip company, for example, Sony, right? So do you think Sony has an office in Bangalore? Are you aware that Sony has an office in Bangalore?
Yes, sir.
Where is it? Any idea? Which tech park?
Not sure, sir. But
Not
I've
sure, no
seen
problem.
many posts
In Belapur,
regarding
yeah,
that.
Belapur also, there are a lot of companies there. Samsung has their office in Dotanakundi, right? Similarly, Microsoft, they have also opened a huge office at the junction of Sajapur Road and Outer Ring Road at Belandor. Okay, so office design. If you happen to visit any of these offices, what you will find is that people are they're designing their office in such a way so that it's a free plan, it's an open plan, it's an open plan for them, right? So I have two links. I'm not sure how I can share it with you. People Matters magazine, I was talking about in the HR analytics class, that you should have been reading these kind of magazines and other things which will help you keep on updating uh, what is happening latest, right? So that's important. Okay. So what will happen with the personalization? We'll be able to boost productivity. So our outcome of this entire trend, if we are able to use this trend for our benefit, we'll be able to boost productivity. Right? Any doubt? Any doubt, anybody?
No, sir.
All good? Okay, I'll quickly move on to the next. So there was a case study, which of course I can't do for my longer sessions. I usually keep this case study about Microsoft and L'Oreal. I'll just briefly talk about within a minute about these two. Okay, so now Microsoft has experimented with 3-day weekend. So right now it's Saturday and Sunday. Okay. Right now, Saturday and Sunday are weekly off. So in Japan, with a certain team, they made Friday as well off day. And then they saw that the productivity has increased. So that's an example of personalization. A particular team, you try to see how it will work. So Friday, no more Friday, no more Friday as a working day. Right? Now, L'Oreal, I want you to do this as a homework. Can you do that as a homework? L'Oreal, have you heard about L'Oreal? Anybody can talk about L'Oreal for a minute?
Yes, sir.
So L'Oreal, anybody heard about L'Oreal? Can you hear me, guys? People, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
L'Oreal. So L'Oreal, what did L'Oreal did from a personalization and innovation perspective? So what they did was they used AI, artificial intelligence. So there, how it happens is there the interview, if the first two rounds, they are taken by the robot. It's not the humans who take the first two rounds. Suppose you apply for L'Oreal for any HR manager or HR executive opening, entry level. Suppose your profile is selected. Of course, your profile is selected by a robot, not by a human being. And the first 2 rounds will be taken by a robot who will be having a human voice. Can you believe that? Did you know this? Anybody? Did you know about this? No? Please Google your homework. So these are the latest things which are happening, right? Not everything will be given to you on the platter. So please do some research on your side as well. I think this particular, yeah, the link, right? Can you see this personalization slide? People, can you see the personalization slide?
So screen is not visible.
She's not visible. Okay, wait. That's why I was asking whether you're able to see or not. Hold on. Is it now? Okay. Okay. Can you see it now? Can you see the personalization?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. This link, right? This link, probably what I'll do is, are you in touch with Rajan sir or Malti ma'am? Anybody?
No, sir.
No? Okay.
Sir, you can send it to Dharmendra, sir.
Dharmen sir. Okay. ठीक है. Or what I'll do is, I'll send it to Rajan sir. And of course, I'm sure Dharmen sir must be knowing Rajan sir, right? So through Rajan sir, I have been taking this workshop. He requested me to take it for you. So probably you can ask Dharmen sir to get this link, or if you just Google,
So you
you'll
can
get this.
copy and paste that in chat box, sir.
Oh yeah. Great. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah, that's a good idea. It didn't occur to me. Wait, hold on. Wait, chat. Yeah, did you got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please
sir.
copy this, read it, and you will know that how technology and how personalization, how HR analytics, no, it's a very good case study for all the 6 trends. Almost all the 6 trends are covered if you read this particular case study, right? Okay, so we don't have much time. We have another 15 minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
14 minutes.
14 minutes, 15 minutes. Okay. So L'Oreal, I've shared the link. Please go through it. Any doubts? We can always have a follow-up session. Please ask for a follow-up session in case you have further doubts. So trust in the workplace. I discussed in detail about deepfake. So do people trust the organization they work in? Do employees trust the technology? So that's a big question. How much technology can be employed? For example, in banks, sensitive data. Can we give our technology to the servers sitting in China? A big issue these days. Similarly, can managers, can HR trust the employees? So people are suspicious about their superiors, whether they want to support their superiors, no? From a trust perspective. So those are various issues which are happening. So multiple things are happening in from a trust perspective. I give you a very good example earlier. We discussed a lot about deepfake, how people are doing something, they're projecting themselves something else, and things are happening and moving. Okay, I'll not go through this slide. We'll skip this. So it talks about trust. New age learning. I talked about bite-sized learning, mobile learning, right? I have a 2019 last year data which says that it is increasing 5% year on year, right? And how we are making changes to our learning and development program, keeping in view the Generation Y workers. Okay. All right. HR analytics. I showed this slide in my HR analytics session. Do you want me to take you again through this slide? People, tell me.
So you'd shown this last time, sir.
Yes,
the
I've
last
taken you to
workshop.
HR analytics deck, And then this is just the
Yeah.
slide which I use it for my trends presentation. So I've taken you through. So now this is what is happening in analytics. I gave you a lot of examples also there also and today also, that how we used data analytics to derive or to give good suggestions to our people, employees, and to our
Sir, there's a
business.
lot of disturbance, sir. Your voice is breaking.
Okay, now is it better?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Right, so I'll quickly move on. Innovation, use of bots. I give an example of L'Oreal, how they're using bots for filtering candidates, for filtering the resumes, for having round one interview calls. So all that comes under innovation. Gamification I talked about in detail, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'll move on. You want me to spend more time on this slide?
No, sir.
Okay, great. So I've already talked in detail about all these things. As an advisor, as a consultant, as a coach, as a mentor, advisory services, as an influencer, right? So I have this small Dilbert as well, a small cartoon strip. That's for you to read and try to understand.
Sir, can you just please zoom the
Okay, hold
slide?
on.
It's very
Yeah,
small.
sure. I can do that. I should have done it earlier. You could have told me. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Read it. That's just for you. No need to explain. It's a small comic strip. All right. Okay. So again, career fairs are very common, very common nowadays. So people are investing a lot in people development, how employees can be happily engaged, what all things we can do, and things like that. So all these things are happening. Similarly, helping people become entrepreneurs, matlab, entrepreneurs within the organization, a new term, entrepreneurship is happening. Agile workforce, I talked about agile when we were doing analytics, right? So I need not repeat that. This slide also, again, I've taken you through, right? Right,
Yes,
people?
sir. Yeah,
Yeah,
sir.
I've
Yeah.
taken you through these two slides.
Yes,
So I think
sir.
this is the end of my slide and presentation. Now, any questions, please let me know. We have another 5-7 minutes for questions. Questions, anyone? Yeah, Gunashila, I think she has a question. Or he.
No, sir, you actually cleared all the doubts that we had last time in the workshop only. So I don't think we have any questions right now. to
Okay,
ask.
great. Good to hear that. Good to hear that. In case you have more doubts or in case no, you want to have a follow-up session, I can take you through. I've taken you through these 6 trends, and I believe it will be worthwhile for you to do some homework regarding these trends. I've shared that a good case study as well. Please read it. That will help you broaden your horizon as to what is happening in the industry now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Swati has asked, what are the skills required for entry-level jobs? So I'll quickly take this question. Before that, Dharmen sir has shared a feedback form. So once we are done, please fill the form. Okay, so skills required for entry-level jobs. So for somebody who's a fresher, if I as a HR manager, if I'll go and hire people in my team, I look for someone who could have original thinking. I would look for someone who could work under a pressure environment. right? A very busy, stressed out environment, because that's the demand, that's the challenge. I'll also look for someone who is ready to work an hour extra, right? Suppose your working hours are 9 to 5. So I'll look for someone who could come half an hour earlier and can leave half an hour late. So you should be ready from a commitment perspective, because you can't be in the bargaining phase at this point in time, right? So whatever comes your way, you have to look at and agree to all these things, whatever the company says. So because the learning phase, you learn whatever you will learn in these first few years will stay with you for long. Okay, so your observation skills, your communication skills, your people skills, how good are you with making connects, making contacts, getting in touch with people, trying to find people problems, talking to them. So all these things will be required. And of course, your technical know-how about the subject, your functional knowledge, your domain knowledge, various laws. Because I asked the question that what all form a new joinee has to fill. I mean, it should be on a fingertips. PF form, gratuity form, insurance form, this, that. You took a while to give me answers. All right. So I think that answers Swati's question. Any other question, anybody? We have another 2-3 minutes. Okay, it seems you don't have more questions. So we'll call it a day. I hope the session was good and informing. You learned about the various trends in HR, and I'm again saying these are not the only trends, right? Please read about it. There could be so many other things which is happening, which I would not have mentioned here, but which I would have talked about. Okay. So please read, keep yourself updated. Any doubts, reach out to your professors, reach out to us. Gain as much as you want. Make yourself so fit that when you sit in a placement, nobody can reject you. That's the whole aim, what the entire DSU management and the faculty aim is, to make you strong and stronger. All right. So with these words of encouragement, I'll take your leave, and I wish all of you very best. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much,
sir.
sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Yeah, submit the feedback form, please, everybody.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Session was good only.